Hi there YouTube. Welcome to Golden Car Comics channel. My name is John and this is going to be my very first comic book haul video ever. Also of a review of the Cheyenne Comic-Con 2016. That's right, Cheyenne, Wyoming had its very first Comic-Con and I want to tell you a little bit about it because I was there all 3 days. I had a great time and I just wanted to make sure I told the world why. First off, thanks for tuning in, and let's get right to our Cheyenne Comic-Con haul. For starters, I wanted to start off with something that was kind of an unexpected surprise. Two of them actually. You can't see that in the background because there's a lot of glare there. There we go. Maybe that's a little more helpful. There's a Starship Enterprise, and you're looking at the jet wing cockpit there, one of the Blue Angels cockpits. Obviously that's some really great photo work and some art photoshopping. The first day of the con, I very unexpectedly kind of just got drafted into doing tech for some of the speakers there at Little America, and one of the gentlemen is an actual starship designer for Star Trek The Next Generation series. He'd also worked on several of the movies. Just a real nice man. And after we were all said and done, he was like, come by my booth later, come by my vendor table. I've got a couple of things for you. And this was one of them. You know, and I thought that was pretty cool, being that my girlfriend is actually retired Air Force. She's in the Air Force for 22 years. Very proud of her. And you know, this just kind of fit in, even though yes, I know the Blue Angels are Navy, I get it, but it also has the Thunderbirds over there, so that's Air Force, and we're good. But yeah, he gave me this after he gave me this. Now, oh, let's see if we can fix the glare on there. There we go. These are the blueprints for the Enterprise E. I think you see it in one of the last Next Generation movies, but one of the coolest Enterprises, I think. And apparently this gentleman had a hand in designing it. And these are the blueprints, and he signed them, of course. And he just said, "Here, take these. You did a great job. We love you, and let's keep in touch." In any case, very unexpected bonus, very unexpected surprise, and definitely appreciated it. But let's move on. Now, we have a Hot Wheels Ecto 1, one of the originals from the movie, from the first couple of movies, well, from the first movie actually, because the second one was different. And Ernie Hudson was one of the celebrities to show up at Cheyenne Comic-Con. Very nice man. Couldn't say enough nice things about him. But I have an issue. I've gone to a lot of cons. Gone to some small ones. We've gone to Denver Comic-Con every year for the last 4 years. Of course, getting ready for year number 5 next month. And Ernie was charging $40 for an autograph, which I think is very common. I see a lot of stars charge a lot more that don't have near his fame or his longevity. But you know, I thought that was, and again, I thought it was a good price until I brought him this, because I have a collection of signed Hot Wheels, because I'm just weird, nothing, and so on. I've got some Batmobiles signed by Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar. I've got some Enterprise Hot Wheels signed by William Shatner, George Takei, Walter Koenig, and Nichelle Nichols, and I have them all protected. And this is my one chance to meet a Ghostbuster. I don't know if I'm going to get any others, but I got this one, so I took it. But instead of $40, Ernie's people charged me $60 to get this autograph here. Let me see if I get this a little close to the camera, see if people can read it. But basically, and that's John, yes, my actual first name. Who are you going to call? You know, standard Ghostbuster line. Loved it. Love having it in my collection. A little bummed that the price jumped up 50% just because I brought this from my home. Not sure I understand the logic, but I did it, so let's move on. One of the other celebrities I want to meet, Priscilla Barnes, beautiful actress. I know a lot of people remember her as replacing Suzanne Summers on Three's Company. I remembered her from being in the James Bond movie License to Kill with Timothy Dalton playing James Bond. Say what you will about the James Bonds, I like Timothy Dalton in the 2 movies that he did, and we'll just go on with that. Priscilla Barnes was in the movie for a very short time. She, at the beginning of the movie, she married James's friend Felix Leiter, and then she got killed. So she was a woman from a Bond movie. I was excited. I'm a huge James Bond fan, and she just went out of her way to go, and she got photos with us. She had no James Bond pictures on her table when I first walked up. When she asked if I was a James Bond fan, she jumped up and pulled up like 10 or 12 pictures out of her portfolio, put them on the table, and just was just a pleasant woman. Remembered us all 3 days of the con, spoke to us like if we were at least acquaintances. She was just another incredibly nice person, and I hope I get to see her another con again sometime, because again, when people are just that nice, it's just nice to say hi. Which leads us to our next star that I got a chance to meet, Amanda Bierce. I almost said Barnes because I know Amanda Barnes, but it's not. This is Amanda Bierce. Obviously, she doesn't look like that anymore. This is from the movie Fright Night, the original Fright Night, with Roddy McDowall and I forget the other actor's name. Although I chose this picture because I'm a big Roddy McDowall fan, and back when I was a kid, don't laugh, but back when I was in high school, I was told by a couple of different girls that I looked like this guy, and even Amanda Bierce said, "Oh, I could see that, I can." Of course, I was paying her for an autograph, and I'm not going to say she lied, but she was, you know, a very nice woman, and she probably just wanted to make me feel good. In any case, another fantastic celebrity. Glad she was at Cheyenne Comic-Con. I was kind of geeking out a little bit because I loved Fright Night. I thought she was great in it. Of course, most people remember her as Marcy, the nosy neighbor from Married with Children. But Fright Night will always be where I have my fondest memories of seeing her. I was geeking out a lot, but it was because she was fantastic. I mean, she spoke to me for like 35 minutes about the movie. She was telling me about filming with Roddy McDowall, and how it was one of her first acting jobs, and how he was very patient. You know, it wasn't like I was peppering her with questions. I mean, she just kept talking to me because she wanted to talk to me. Of course, there was no line behind us to get her autograph. But she was fantastic. And I got to be honest, I got a little chill down my spine when she signed it, because she used one of the lines from the movie. Again, actors and actresses love to do that, but I did love this one. If you're not familiar with the Fright Night movie, you're not going to get this. If you are familiar, you're going to love it. But at one point in the movie, when she's turning into a vampire, her boyfriend, Charlie's trying to save her, and she said, "What's the matter, Charlie? Don't you want me anymore?" And she says it very seductively. And so she said it to me and used my name and signed it like that. "What's the matter, John? Don't you want me anymore?" And I kind of geeked out a little bit, and I blushed a little, and my girlfriend smacked me, and, you know, that was that. But, again, fantastic celebrities at Cheyenne Comic-Con. I hope they all come back again next year, and, of course, bring lots of their friends with them. It was just wonderful to have such nice people. There were a lot of celebrities that I didn't hang out with just because I didn't really follow their career. But one of them that was there, let me see how much of this we can get in this video. Oh, there we go. Yes. There you go. Sam Jones was there. Flash Gordon. That's right, I know this movie was way back when in the 80s, but I loved this movie. This was a great movie, which Timothy Dalton, again, James Bond, he was in this movie too. But anyway, Sam Jones at Cheyenne Comic-Con, again, very nice man, told us all kinds of stuff about himself. He wasn't in a big rush just to sign something and move on. He took pictures with everybody that bought his autograph. He talked with us for a while. He told us about his military career, what he's doing now, and just a really nice man. Again, he was there Saturday and Sunday, and wow, just had a great time talking with him. He had a whole lot of prints to choose from to get signed, and I chose this one with Ming and Dale the woman. If you've never seen the movie, you really should. And of course Sam. There's the Hawkman on there, not to be confused with Hawkman from the comic books, but there's Hawkman. Timothy Dalton's character is actually not on there, but yes, he was in the movie. Anyway, you should see it. Moving on, and I know you guys keep seeing comics behind there. We're going to get to the comics, I promise, because that's what Comic-Con should be about. But this is kind of comic related, and it's a cute little story. So, on the last day of the con, that would be Sunday, we were leaving, we were heading out the front door of Little America, and my son saw a dog jump out of this truck that was parked in front of the hotel, and just jumped out the front window and went running away. So my son was very concerned. We were dog people. We were all concerned, but my son was really concerned. So we went looking for the dog. We found it. We brought it back to the truck. Didn't want to open the truck. Didn't know we were going to set off a burglar alarm or something. So we had people going inside to see if we could locate the owner. And as it turned out, the owner of the truck and of the dog, there was actually two dogs, but only one had jumped out. The owner was one of the artists that was at the con, and he was actually heading back to Utah. And he was just really thankful, and he said, "Well, do you want some prints? Do you want some prints?" And you know, we weren't looking for a reward, and he just insisted. I said, "Well, what do you guys like? I've got DC, I've got Marvel," and so I said, "Well, my son is a huge Spider-Man fan," and the guy just lit up, pulled a bin out of the back of his truck, pulled out some Spider-Man prints, and my son just, you know, dropped his jaw and was so thrilled and so thankful. Anyway, this was one of the prints with Spider-Man 2099, and I believe, now I'm not 100% on the Spider-Man thing, but I believe that's the Ben Reilly Crimson Spider. Yes, no? Let me know in the comments if I've just got that wrong. I got the first two right. I know my son's got all three action figures several times over for some of them, but yeah, if that's not Ben Reilly, someone in the comments put that in there, let me know who it is, because I hate being wrong. Of course, we also have Spider-Man swinging through New York. Actually, the print should be like that, because the building's pointing up and Spider-Man's upside down, but hey, he's Spider-Man, it's okay. And, oh, and I had that upside down, and he also threw in a Venom piece. I mean, this guy was just really thankful that we had found his dog and brought him back to the truck and stayed with him. So, just a little thing, you know, I think it's wonderful when people do things for other people, even strangers. You don't expect anything in return. It's nice when, it's just always nice when people can be good to each other without expecting things, and then, you know, good things can happen. There are good people still out there. I know sometimes I'm a bit jaded. I know sometimes we all. Now, this comic and the one behind it, I actually took with me to the con because Scott Shaw, the co-creator of Captain Carrot, was in the house, and I was thrilled to meet him because I loved this comic when I was younger. I was always surprised that it didn't turn into an animated series, but you know, Scott and I talked about that, and I guess it could have been, but it wasn't going to be done the way he liked, and so on. So anyway, there's been some reboots of it, and they're just not quite the same. So go, if you're into cool animal characters with superpowers, go find yourself some Captain Carrot. There are some trade paperbacks out there. Anyway, Scott Shaw signed this one. This is issue number 1. And he also signed the new Teen Titans because it actually has the very first appearance of Captain Carrot right there. So again, a very nice man. He charged nothing for his signature. We sat and talked for a while. We talked comics. We talked Captain Carrot. He asked me if I had liked the relaunch of Captain Carrot, and I told him I wasn't thrilled with it, and he's like, well, neither was I. So anyway, just good times. Now, before we get into the comic haul that I had at Comic-Con, the comics I actually bought there, I have to tell you that the vendor that was there, he was from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he was just a great guy. I just wish there would have been more comics. I wish there would have been more comic vendors. And that's nothing against the promoters of Cheyenne Comic-Con. I know them both. I think they're wonderful people. They just had some people back out on them. I think a lot of comic vendors got kind of nervous because, oh, Cheyenne's first Comic-Con, what's going to be there? Are people going to show up? Yeah, people showed up in force. So if you're a comic vendor and you do conventions and you're watching this video, A, thank you for tuning in, but B, come to Cheyenne Comic-Con. You won't be disappointed. This next group of comics, I spent $50, and I'm sure I got a great deal, but that was just me, all by myself on the last day of the con. So first up, we have Justice League #1. This is the first appearance of Max Lord. I have a feeling that now with the Justice League movies being slated to come up, obviously after Superman v Batman, the League is starting to, you know, it's got its foundations. I think this is going to be a good comic to have, and I think there's a good chance that Max Lord shows up, and if he does, I've got his first appearance, and I'm keeping it. There's not a whole lot of comics I sell. Every now and then, while I collect, I come across something else that's maybe worth something, or something that's not really my taste, and I'll trade, and I'll sell, and so on. But not a whole lot. This is something that I'm going to enjoy. And moving on to comic #2. Alright, so this next comic, actually this is one that my son is a huge Spider-Man fan, as I pointed out before. And I came across this. This is the first appearance of Hydro Man. Not even close to a major Spider-Man villain. I get it. But, you know, it's a first appearance. It's cool to have first appearances. It means something special to my son. And, you know, you never know. You might see Hydro Man show up in a Spider-Man movie. Doubtful, but, you know, Sandman showed up, so Hydro Man's got a shot, right? Together they could make Mudman. Maybe they already have in the comics. I don't know. But anyway, my son was real happy to pick that one out. Again, these comic books I picked up at the con, $50 total. And I priced them out. I've looked online, and I did get a good deal. Giant-sized Spider-Man and Dracula. My son actually pulled this out, picked this one out for both of us. He knows that I'm a big Dracula fan. He's a big Spider-Man fan. And as you see, this comic was originally marked for $18 all on its own. Now, I've looked online. I've seen it go anywhere from $13 to $30. It's in great condition. I would, you know, if I had to assign a grade to it, I would probably call it a 6.5 to a 7.0. It's got wonderful colors. And in any case, my son picked it out, and now we own it. And that's that. Now, Batman 638. He did not have the other cover from Jason Todd's point of view, from the Red Hood's point of view. I will be getting that cover soon, but this is what he had at the con. Thrilled to see it. I have not been following the Batman story as much as I used to when I was younger, but I definitely want to get some of the key issues from this particular story arc, you know, where the Red Hood shows up, we don't know who it is, and it turns out to be Jason Todd, who used to be Robin, who was killed by the Joker, and is now, as in almost all comic book deaths, come back to life to bother Batman. So, love this cover. I'll be getting the adjoining cover with Jason Todd's point of view, where he's looking at the Batman, but I was real happy to find this. Legion of Superheroes, number 300. Big anniversary issue. Love anniversary issues. Love the Legion of Superheroes. Read them all the time when I was a kid, and it just brought back memories, and it was like a $2 book. Nothing key about it whatsoever, other than the fact that I liked it, I wanted it, and I could name most of these Legionnaires for you, including Bouncing Boy. I've seen some other YouTube videos that make fun of Bouncing Boy. What kind of superpower is that? Truth is, if you read the comic, he was kind of a badass. Sorry, kids, but he was. So, Legion of Superheroes number 300, followed by, that's right, I picked up another Noon Tea Titans number 16 because it is the first appearance of Captain Carrot, and because it was $2. It's not as good in shape as the one I already had, but hey, one of my favorite characters, his first appearance, and now I have an extra copy, and it cost me $2. So there you go. Last but not least, another one of my son's picks. He actually let out a verbal ooh when he found it. It is Peter Parker's graduation from The Amazing Spider-Man 185. He just couldn't have been more excited to find it. My son's just now, well, he's in junior high, so he's got a while to go before he gets to high school graduation, but he thought it was just pretty cool. So again, this one was, copy was marked about $18 when I bought it, or when we found it, and the gentleman from Albuquerque, I believe it's Lobo's Comics, was really nice and gave me that whole deal for $50. And on that note, I'm going to say, once again, thank you for watching the video. Again, I don't have enough good things to say about Cheyenne Comic-Con. It was a great event, and for our first effort, it was really organized well. It has a lot of potential, to grow, and I think that if you're a vendor, if you're a celebrity, A-lister, B-lister, whatever, and you have doubts about whether or not you want to come to Cheyenne for Comic-Con next summer, I definitely say the answer is yes. Yes, you should. And I hope to see you here in 2017. Thanks a lot, YouTube. Good night, good luck, and enjoy your comics.